Hey, what's up guys? Week 7 of scouting. We're out here in a mint field, and I just want to tell you a few things that's going on over the past week and looking forward into next week. We are in some really hot weather. It's going to be about 102, I think, today, and then I think we should be above 100 degrees for about the next 4 or 5 days. So we got a lot of heat coming in, and a few things to keep in mind with that, as I said last week, but I'm going to say it again because it's super important not to affect your yields and in any of the crops that you're working in. But you need to keep your soil wet and keep the root systems wet. They need to have plenty of water. You get a plant stressed out and it starts going backwards, and then you're playing catch up. And in the process of playing catch up, what you're doing is you're consuming a lot of the energy that a plant would use to reproduce, and it's going into mitigating that stress and instead of pushing towards your yield. So keep that in mind. Keep your plants wet, scout your fields, use a moisture probe, whatever it is. Actually, this is perfect. A ladybug just flew in. I wanted to show you something specific about this mint, so come down here and I want to talk to you. First of all, there's our little ladybug, which is a wonderful thing because we have a lot of aphids sometimes in the season here, and as you can see, they love those little blooms as well. So anyway, what I want to show you here is, you'll see, so this mint field actually looks a little bit short, but it is probably about 3.5-ish feet tall. What's happened is it's laid over, and what you'll see as it matures is it'll lay over and it'll kind of create these little open spots as it lays over. And down here you can see, look at all this new growth. So they call that secondary growth, and that's actually a really good thing. So the mint lays over, secondary growth comes up, and it adds to your tonnage, your yield, and ultimately your oil production at the end of the year. So that's something unique that's happening in this field. It usually happens in this variety. Sometimes if it doesn't get tall enough and doesn't lay over, you don't actually have any of that secondary growth. So I've been told that people will actually go out and roll their mint fields down, and so it creates enough sunlight for, you know, it brings their yields up and stuff. So something interesting to point out there. Couple of the other things that we've been seeing in the valley. One thing we've noticed, we've dealt with a little bit of powdery mildew earlier in the season. We haven't seen a progression of that as much lately, so that's something good to note. Between using some fungicides, stuff like that, some softer chemistries to try and mitigate that, to kill those spores and stuff like that. We've also had really high heat, which is really beneficial for, so you have, let me explain this a little bit. You have your conditions where the spores will grow, and it's between kind of a certain temperature. It seems to be anywhere in that 70 degrees to 85 degrees where it really likes to germinate. And so now we have 100-degree weather and those spores start dying. So that's actually a good thing. You start getting some serious heat in your field, it starts killing off those spores, and that's something specifically in the mint we've noticed that it's happening. Like I said, between softer chemistries and Mother Nature, we're starting to get some serious control of that. So once again, focus on your nutrition as you're out here. So observing the color of the leaves and any abnormalities in there can be some telltale signs of different nutrient deficiencies, and ways that you can go about that. If you see visually something happening in your field and you're not sure what's going on, you can look to sap sampling, and that will tell you what is happening in that plant material, what you're missing, what you're over applying, whatever it is. So I hope this is helpful. Remember guys, to like and subscribe if you find these videos beneficial, and remember, make farming fun again.